Hi, everybody. Welcome to the weekly storage unit auction list webinar. Every week during this time from 2 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we discuss important topics related to attending storage auctions, to the resale business, ways to increase your traffic and sales if you have an online store, and just various other topics related to your business. And we've always stressed the importance of researching items that you've won at storage unit auctions before attempting to make a profit on your merchandise. There are a variety of ways that you can increase your knowledge and do this. For years, people skimmed the pages of old books. There are tons and tons of great resources on collecting and antiques and specific niche hobbies that will allow you to sort of get a foothold in the door of research. And for some items that are older, they can be a great tool. However, a lot of these books, while they come out with new ones every so often, they tend to be outdated before sooner rather than later. And things change and the market changes so frequently that sometimes the books can be a great research simply for sort of learning the history behind an item and getting some knowledge together. But in terms of a pricing guide, it's sort of hard for it to be accurate and to stay relevant and current with the internet and sites like eBay and things of that nature. Prices change all the time. So today, many of the books aren't really relevant, and people instead go to auction or e-commerce sites to get general market values as well as some history. But a lot of times, items might not have a very extensive, thorough history. Somebody might just have on their eBay page that they're selling an item, and that gives you a general market value. And they might have a history of when they bought the item or how long they've had the item, but they might not, have a great wealth of information to draw from. They might not know what they have really. So obviously, that information is not going to be passed on to you. If they don't know, how can they give you more information? So what we recommend is that you go to WorthPoint, which gives you the best of both worlds. It provides pricing guide, it provides all that marketplace information that you need to make a living, and it also provides you the history, which is very valuable just for your knowledge base, but it also helps you in the future to know certain items, to know certain niches, to become the expert in an area and really help your business. So while it does take some upfront work on your part, it really, down the line, is a valuable sort of information to know how to get that information, to know how to quickly find what you need online. It will really help your business grow down the line. So WorthPoint is the largest, and everybody should be able to see my screen now, but WorthPoint is the largest resource for researching and valuing your art, antiques, and collectibles. So today we're going to just review some of the key elements offered by WorthPoint that will help expand your business and grow your knowledge base. And so essentially we're going to provide a walkthrough of sorts for some of the key tools and some of the key features of WorthPoint and just exactly how to use those things. So news and multimedia. This section of the site hosts popular auction-related news stories. So if we select news and media, you'll see some information on the screen pop up in just a second. So the auction that launched the antiques. So this is information on an auction house. I believe that this is in London. I did not read the full story. But it just gives you information on things related to the auction industry and some historical perspective. There's one article I read yesterday that is no longer on the front page, but it talked about how furniture, true antique furniture, is oftentimes much smaller in scale and the build to today's furniture, and that's one of the ways that you can tell if your furniture is a true, authentic antique or not. So it just lets you start beginning to sort of amass knowledge, and the articles are really well written. They're very interesting. They're easy reads. I enjoy reading them just to keep up with news on the industry and things of that nature. And they also sometimes provide information on, just various things. Some things that you might even be surprised by. Yesterday there was an article on classic Fender guitars and things of that nature. So it's not necessarily always, I know one day I read an article on classic Nintendo games because that's a passion and hobby of mine. So they have interesting things for no matter what your niche and no matter sort of what your interests are and what you want to learn more about. It's really a wide. They just have tons of people who are very very knowledgeable on all these different topics. So if we go back to feature articles, I think that might be where the Fender guitar article is actually. Let's see if it's still up. Well, it was up yesterday. But it just gives you a feel for, and then the video and audio options here also give you the same information. Sorry, bear with me. My computer is running a little slow today. Okay, so you can see the multimedia here. You can watch videos by people who are connected into the WorthPoint network. So in the Antiques Auction Forum podcast, Martin Willis talks with Martin Kemp, who discusses where science meets art. It's just different topics, and they're very entertaining. The next area is the value of it, and this is a very invaluable area. So this allows you to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty specific of researching your items. There are currently more than 150 million prices from over 350 data sources, including eBay, Proxybid, and other sites. And if you use the Worthopedia price guide, you'll see that information. And so you can see where some of these pricings are pulled from. And then if you do a search here, it will pull up the item from places like eBay and Proxybid and show you what people are listing the item for in other places, and what that helps you to generate that market value number in your head. An expert So Ask a Worthologist is available to anyone who desires an unbiased and expert opinion on a collectible or antique. And you don't need to be a subscriber to WorthPoint to use this service. So based on details and photos and information that you provide to somebody who works within the Worthologist network, or I'm sorry, within the WorthPoint network, they will return a detailed evaluation of your item, which can include an estimated range and its fair market value. And the cost per evaluation is just $29.99. So Ask a Worthologist was evaluated in a blind study in 2010 in the Wall Street Journal, and it was the only service of its kind that evaluated all the items accurately in that study. So it's a really great way to get information on your items and history on your items. There's also the collection or estate appraisals. And so this provides an extensive evaluation and disposition of counseling for large and often diverse collections of art, antiques, and things of that nature, and collectibles. And these types of collections tend to fall into two broad categories. The first can be described as fine collections, and that these may be held by institutions, trusts, museums, things of that nature. And the second group can be termed as assets, which are owned by individuals or businesses or public entities that face several different situations, things like bankruptcy, insurance coverage, damage due to fire or other things of that nature, downsizing, on-site appraisals, and more. So WorthPoint can provide expert testimony and work product that's tailored for evidence presentation if necessary in any of those sort of situations. So, again, that's going to be, there's a lot of information here regarding all that, but over 40 subject matter experts, worthologists work worldwide. Ability to accommodate any locale and type of collection. So if you're somebody who does this full time, you work for an auction house or anything of that nature, this might be a very valuable service for you. So research it is the next tab, and that just takes you back to the news and media and the articles, and just allows you another place to quickly click in there and get that information and begin doing your own research. Buy and sell is a section of the site that actually provides you an outlet to buy and sell your merchandise. And you can sign up for this service by signing up for a free 7-day WorthPoint trial. And with that subscription to WorthPoint, you can list classified ads. And these are indexed to Google, and it will bring trading partners to you and eliminate transaction costs, which is a great thing if you're somebody who does this full time. And it just allows you to find items for sale, list your own items, reach thousands of collectors and sellers and people in this industry who are looking, who have the money to buy your sort of more high-end, valuable pieces that you do find and want to get top dollar for. Auctions and events. So for upcoming auctions, we are very excited to announce that very shortly we will be listing our storage unit auction lists for your area. I believe we're going to be listing a set number of auctions dependent on your area. And so we'll be providing that service and working with WorthPoint to get that in place over the next few weeks. So do keep an eye out for that, and that's a great added value to a WorthPoint subscription. And then resources, find a business. This is a really great tool. This section of the site provides you an that actually was the last section. The Search WorthPoint Business Directory just allows you to find connections that you're specifically seeking out, such as an antique dealer or a museum who might be interested in an item that you have or things of that nature. So you can scroll through the categories to find antique dealers, antique mall owners, appraisers, if you need an appraiser for a specific item, art dealers, auctioneers, auction houses, etc., etc. So things that are really relevant to your business that you might need to find very quickly, or worthologists. So 61 worthologists. So people, as you can see here, this is somebody who's a general worthologist, and they have several different interests or items that they have some general knowledge about, and I'm sure that they have certain items they have more knowledge on and things of that nature, but this just lets you know sort of their general interests and what they do have some basic information on. So that's very helpful if you're looking to sell or appraise your items to get those connections. This area also allows you to look at a profile that you create with an account, and then you can also have friends and make connections in the industry and colleagues and things of that nature and add them to this section of your WorthPoint account. And then there are also several community forums, which again are a great tool and allow you to really start reaching out to people in the resale community, to museums, to appraisers, to all the things we just sort of touched on before. This is a great place to come and talk about your items. You can see here that there's several different discussions, antiques and collectible dealers, community help, just an open chat area, advertising, antiquities, book, papers, and magazines, which I'm not sure, I haven't looked through all of these forums, but my guess there is that if you're somebody who does, specializes in collecting books and newspapers and, sort of the older first edition books and things like that, that would be a place where you could talk about those things. And a subform of that is comics, ceramics, coins, and currency. So you can see that for anything you might have an interest in collecting or selling, there is a tab for it. And there it goes on and on. So that's a really great place to come and get more information, just because sometimes the people in the forums might be the very best at what they do and might have the best knowledge base to really sort of help you there. So it's important to connect in that way as well. So that wraps up our WorthPoint walkthrough. This week's coupon code is just WorthPoint20. And I'm sorry I did not make a slideshow this week, but it's WorthPoint20. And it's also, we just want to do a quick housekeeping information here. If you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and go back to storage unit auction list. Well, there we go. Okay, so now we're just back on storage unit auction list. If you do have questions related to your storage unit auction list subscriber account or anything like that, you can give us a call at 800-353-8417 or email us at info@storageunitauctionlist.com, and that information is here on the screen for you to be able to write down if you need to do that. You can also connect with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. We have accounts everywhere. We love hearing from you, and we love connecting with you. So if you have questions related to auctions, to your storage unit auction list subscriber account, we do want to hear from you, and we are eager to take your calls and answer your questions. So be sure to contact us if you do have any questions. We also just want to remind everybody about some of the great opportunities that are available to you. As a Storage Unit Auction List subscriber, you can sign up for the Storage Treasures Pro Training Program using the coupon code Auction List. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up last week's webinar so that we can actually have that URL on the screen for you where you can go to type in that code. So that will take just a few seconds here. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll just pull up our slideshow here from you for last week just so you can get this information because it is very important and we want to make sure everybody can see it clearly and things like that. The URL is a bit long, so we do want to make sure it's up properly for you. I'm going to go ahead and pause my screen for just a second to get this working correctly. In the meantime, I do want to remind everybody, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty with my PowerPoint presentation, but in the meantime, we do also want to remind people about Cabbage and Terapeak, which are two opportunities for you to take advantage of. Cabbage allows you to sorry, my PowerPoint has frozen. Sorry about that, everybody. Well, PowerPoint does not seem to be cooperating with me. So we'll just go ahead and give you this information, though. So Terapeak just allows you to connect with eBay and Amazon to decide how to increase your online business opportunities, and it allows you to evaluate your pricing and sourcing strategies, get insights on what you're selling and buyer behaviors and things of that nature on those e-commerce sites, auction sites. Cabbage provides working capital or rather small business loans to the United States and the UK, and they can provide funding in as little as 7 minutes. So that's a great thing to have if you're just a new business owner just getting started. Having that startup capital can be invaluable. And then finally, I'm going to try one more time to get our slideshow up here. Okay, it looks like it's working now. So to claim the $50 scholarship for the Storage Treasures, which I just was talking about a few minutes ago before we had a little technical blip there, you'll need to go to https://go/sal111.infusionsoft.com/go/SAL/A449. And we do send out that information through a weekly email as well. So if you have interested in signing up for the full pro training course, enter auction list on the checkout screen. And this course is really invaluable. It's entertaining, it's interesting, it's fun to watch. It's Dan and Laura Dotson of Storage Wars, and Nabila Hannis of Storage Wars, and Troy Howerton of the Redneck Picker, and several other auction professionals, people who focus on estate sales, people who focus on yard sales, all things related to this industry and your business, and really show you how to become a full-time professional quicker. It's just educational. It helps you make money faster. It's a really great program. It's several ebooks, it's several videos, it's a whole package, really. It's a whole educational. It's sort of like your education, and it's really in depth, and it's really entertaining and great. So if you have any interest in that, again, visit that link. So does anybody have any questions about anything we've covered today, or the storage business in general, or anything like that? Okay. Well, looks like we don't have any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the day. I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks.